I come here with great trepidation as anything I've been involved with that links science and art has been a total disaster. It started in 1965. I had run the expanded cinema festival at Filmmaker Cinematheque, hired by Jonas Mekas, who presented here last night over television, I gather, and fired by him 8 weeks later. That was an enormous breakthrough where we asked artists, dancers, poets, writers to engage with cinema and do whatever they wanted. And towards the end, I got a call from Harvard from A.K. Solomon, the biophysicist that was a friend of Wiener's, and said, we would like you to bring a bunch of your artists up here to talk with our MIT and Harvard specialists in sensory communication and cybernetics. And basically, they were all computer scientists, but the word hadn't been coined yet. So I went up there with, I recall, Namjoon Paik, Terry Riley, the USCO group, and we went and were taken to see the computer. And it was a magical experience because it was cold room behind glass, and the people wore white coats and gloves. And Harold Edgerton was there, Walter Rosenblith, Anthony Ettinger, all of Wiener's people. And we talked to them for 3 days, and it was a total failure. We wound up talking about how nice the grain was on the nice dining room table. There was no way of communicating. So here we are. I know Hans-Ulrich through our mutual connection with James D. Myers, who in 1971 started the World Question Center, where he decided he would arrive at an axiology of world's knowledge by having the 100 brightest people in the world in a room together, locking the door, and having them ask each other the questions they're asking themselves. He thought that's the way you achieved an axiology of knowledge rather than reading all the books in the Widener Library. So he actually called the 100 people and 70 hung up on him. So it didn't quite work, but I picked it up and it turned into something called the Reality Club, which morphed into edge.org, which is a website where we have this conversation where we ask each other the questions we're asking ourselves. A few days ago in Germany, the biggest paper, Süddeutsche Zeitung, had a lead editorial about this event with a beautiful picture and talked about the fact that Hans-Ulrich and I created this together in '71. It's when he was 3 years old. So, so he's a very precocious fellow. But what Edge is, it's best explained by Ernst Mayr, who I went to see when he was 97 years old and met him for the first time. And he opened the door and started moving furniture so I could set up the TV camera. And I tried to explain what this online manifestation was because he's not somebody who was using a computer. And he said, wait, I get it, it's a conversation. So that's what it is, and that's what separates this from your run-of-the-mill science book or the usual presentation of science. It's people talking to each other, sharing ideas, and to the extent possible, the public gets a chance to look over their shoulders. And that I find can be very thrilling. I enjoy it, and I hope you do too. So today we have a selection of people that participate on EDGE, and following Hans-Ulrich's mandate for tabletop experiments. First up is Syrian Summer, an evolutionary biologist at the Institute of Zoology in London, i.e. the London Zoo, who specializes in social insects, and she will give her experiment. Syrian Summer.